Hey, welcome back to Dad Life Chess. This is Joel, and it's time to record game number 4 from the North American Open. And yeah, this was an interesting. This was definitely an interesting game. It was day two. Well, day two of my schedule, the 3-day schedule. Standard time control, like it was in game 3. It would have been 40 moves in 100 minutes, sudden death 30 with a 30-second increment. And like in round 3, I walked to my board and found out I was playing against another adult, a very nice gentleman. Uh, he and I got to chat a little bit before the game, a little bit after the game. Um, he's been playing chess for quite a while, but strong player. And well, as you'll see, I was completely losing by like move 4. So that's always good. That's always good. Anyway, my opponent plays d4, and I play d5. And my opponent says, hey, let's play the London system. Now, if you've watched this channel, you'll know I like the London system. Matter of fact, it's kind of like my go-to as white, and I love the London system. I know there's a lot of memes on the internet. Everybody hates the London system, but hey, Dad Life Chess, old man chess. I got my Dad Life Chess mug, Dad Life, Dad Bod, and Dad Jokes, all the above. So I thought, no problem. Well, my coach had been recommending to me this early bishop f5 line. Ironically, it's a line that I enjoy playing against, but there's some tricky ideas, and my coach tried to show me them. But I mess up the move order, of course. So my opponent plays e3, solid stuff, e6, and c4. Now, right here, normally you play a knight c6, and oftentimes you'll get these kind of ideas, and you'll the bishop will come out here, 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 and there's some tactical tricks, and with best play, white's going to have maybe a slight edge. But in this position, I forgot, and I kind of messed up the move orders. When they play this early e3 and then c4, you actually go into this line, okay? Takes, check, stop white from castling, immediately bring back the bishop, and then you might get something like this. I mean, you can, it'll be a game. My coach basically said at this point, it's like dead even. Now, knight c6 is not necessarily a mistake, but it's a mistake because I didn't follow up with the correct moves. My opponent plays knight c3. I played knight f6, and then my opponent plays queen b3. And this is the kind of stuff that I play normally myself. Now, queen b3 is actually a little bit of an inaccuracy if I knew or remembered what I'm supposed to do. The best move in this position is bishop b4, and there's some things that white has to be careful of. Just playing something as simple as this. I can actually get these weird lines where I'll end up pushing the pawn again. It's this right here, a4, a3, a4, queen d1. I can take, and rook takes. I can bring my knight in, so I get a little bit of pressure. It's not the end of the world, but it's a game, right? Well, as soon as my opponent played queen b3, like I said, I kind of got confused. I was trying to remember the lines, and I played a horrible move. I lied. It was move 6, not move 4. I played knight b4. This is absolutely a ridiculous move. There's not really, I mean, yeah, the threat is here. If my opponent is like, I don't know, if he's just going to like randomly play moves, no, then this would be a problem. Well, actually, that traps the queen, so that would have been nice. But my opponent was a good chess player. Didn't play like a complete beginner. He just stopped the threat. Well, instead of me like just realizing, okay, I made a mistake, I gotta regroup, I was starting to like panic a little bit. I was like, what is going on? How am I'm completely off here, So I thought, well, maybe I'll trade off the bishop, and I don't know. I literally don't know what brought me to make this move. This move is completely losing. Completely losing. Takes, takes, and literally all my opponent has to do is take here, takes, and then this move, I could resign. I looked over this with the computer, and yeah, the best move in this position is for me to take my king, tip it over, and say, "GG, thanks for the very quick game," and consider giving up chess. Now, thankfully, my opponent did not play that move. My opponent played a good move, but not the best and most critical move back in this position. My opponent thought get a little fancy here, ended up going here. Well, I took back. After seeing this, I cannot explain to you what was going through my mind at this moment. Here I am. I'm 2 out of 3 going into round 4. I'm playing the under 1700 section. I had hopes of doing much better than I was doing at this point. I was not at all liking what I'm seeing. And I'm just not enjoying this position at all. And I was thinking, what is going to happen? So I'm convinced I'm going to lose. I take back with the pawn. My opponent takes here. And I thought the only hope I have is trying to make my opponent's life as miserable as it possibly can be. So I give my opponent a check. Well, if you notice, the king's basically going to have to move somewhere, and white will not be able to castle. So I thought, okay, I'm down a pawn. Stockfish says I'm more than just a pawn down. But hey, his king's stuck in the center. Okay, we'll just go with that. So my idea was, boom, second center. I'm going to do everything I can to cause some problems. Maybe I can get a draw. Here, I kind of missed when I played castles that my opponent could do this. And as soon as I castled, I remembered that. I kind of saw it, and I thought to myself, oh, snaps. Now, my opponent did not do that. My opponent ended up kicking me with the pawn. He went here, and then my opponent took, takes, and then played here. This was the only point in the game up to this point. I basically thought I was just going to lose. And I thought to myself, okay, now I want the queen side to be locked down. I don't mind that. I'm going to try to do something. Try to put a little pressure on the king. So I played queen e6. I started to see a sliver, just a ray, just a little bit of hope. Okay, and so my opponent gets developed. Get in my knight in knight to e4, and the computer still says black is just losing in this position. I thought no problem. My opponent goes here. Wants to get. My opponent went here. Rook to d1, and just wants to get his king kind of tucked away. I went ahead and played here, putting pressure there. My opponent goes back with the king, and I get my pawns going. I figure, hey, I'm going to try to do something. At this point, my opponent has moves like this, getting pressure on the queen side, and yeah, they could do better. My opponent makes a blunder. This is just a blunder. When I saw this move on the board, I was shocked. I thought to myself, whoa, what a turn of events. And where white was winning up to this point, I was able to find, well, obviously it's not like cryptic here. It's not like 2700 puzzle on chess.com. It's probably screaming at you too. Boom. The threat is checkmate, which is kind of ideal, and the pawn on h2. My opponent did not want to allow me to give checkmate, so my opponent played queen e2, but I said, hey, I'll take this. And here, my opponent started thinking quite a bit actually, and came up with this idea. I think my opponent was like trying to say, "Hey, let's just trade queens. Let's do something. You know, let's. You got one of my pawns. I took one of your pawns. Let's just be friends." I was really happy. It's not a hard move to see, but I was really happy that I did see it, and I was also happy when I looked at this game with Stockfish, and Stockfish was like, "You go, you go, you." Actually, Stockfish doesn't do that. Stockfish is like not very encouraging. Stockfish is just like, "You're a loser at chess. You don't know anything, and I know everything." But yeah, played f4. If you probably saw it as well. I'm trying to break up lines. I want to open up lines coming at the king here. Okay, this knight is a beast on e4. My opponent says, "You know what? We got to trade queens." I take, takes, and then boom. Look at this. Look at this. And here, my opponent goes knight g4, protecting. And this is just losing. This is absolutely losing. I had the best move was knight takes. My coach saw this and he saw that I took here and he's like, ooh. Now it's still winning. I mean, I'm still doing very well in this position, but knight takes is just, I mean, I'm on here, and if they take back, this is just, this is resigns time. So remember, if you like just happen to like watch this video and you're like, you know, skipping ahead and not really paying attention, which I don't blame you. If that is you, I do that too, you know, but watch to the end, leave a comment and subscribe and like it. And then it helps me, but you can just leave it playing in the background and no, don't do that. Don't do that. Maybe you can increase the viewership. Is that how it works? I don't know. But yeah, so basically, I don't know what I was saying. Oh yeah, this is a winning position. If you're watching this and you're like, you know, this looks like a completely crushing position. Don't forget that we had a position, I don't know, like this on the board. Not that long ago is what I'm trying to say. And here we have this. So I took with the pawn, and you know, it is what it is. Still winning, but wanted to make it a little more difficult on myself, I guess. My opponent goes here, knight h2. I thought, all right, I'm gonna bring my rooks in. You know, we're gonna just try to you know, bear down on this pawn, you know, try to win some things. I was feeling very good about my position. Obviously, I didn't have Stockfish running while I'm playing the game, so I didn't exactly get the exact evaluation right now. You know how it is when you're playing chess. You're like, hey, is this winning? I think it is, but the pressure, and you're thinking, I don't want to mess this up. And so my opponent, then I bring my rook over. He blocks it with his knight, thinking that that's probably the best piece to do it. I bring my rook up here. I'm trying to get in, you know, and he's defending. You know, he's doing pretty well at this point. I'm rook g6. He goes here, and then I go here. I'm trying to. I want to get into stuff like this and here. He plays here, and I don't know why. I kind of like hallucinated. I had a kind of a lapse in. I here the clear best option is just play here, and then I mean, like, this is just gonna this is falling, like, this is just bad. But I was like, I wonder if he's going to, you know, I don't know how, I don't know what I was thinking. This knight really can't move, but I ended after he played rook d1, I ended up going back with this rook to g6, and then he played b4. I played rook f3, which I should have played earlier, and then he's trying to move. He's kind of like paralyzed. He's kind of paralyzed. So then I go here. I'm coming after this. He goes here, and I probably had, you know, 5 other moves that were just as good or better, but I thought, okay, I'm just going to try to do, you know, simplify this as much as possible. He goes here. I come here. He goes here. And right here, I moved my rook to rook g1. Rook g2 is also like incredibly powerful, but this is still good. Rook g1. He plays rook c2. I go here, check. He blocks, and there's a killer move in this position that just like it's the computer says it's like -54, which is basically Stockfish way of like, you're basically going to be checkmated really soon. And that's rook f3 and everything. I mean, it's just everything's falling. Everything's gone. But I didn't play that. I ended up just going for when he went here. I saw the line that would win. I took, and my opponent resigned. My opponent, I think my opponent thought that I was just going to win the exchange because this move's coming. But what he didn't see is it is completely winning for black. I was just trying to simplify it. But the point is he takes here, goes here, here coming after my rook. I take, he comes back. And now I have two connected passed pawns. And these guys are just going to get gobbled up with my knight. I mean, my knight can come in here. If he pushes, I can just go like this, and like I'm basically just I'm gonna bring my king up, and they're gonna be targets. Yeah, so this is gonna be a win. My opponent did resign after I took here. I think he just thought that he was like I don't think he thought he could sneak over and grab my other rook, but anyway, I was happy with the win. So yeah, talk about an emotional roller coaster. Going from like completely losing at this position, like this is lost. This is completely lost. To being able to fight back and win the game. I was like, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. So after this game, I realized that this is just a tough tournament. I mean, there's no way around it. This is just a tough tournament, and these players are not going to just like roll over and let you beat them. You have to play incredibly tough, play really good moves. So I know that like all the excuses are out there, like, oh, people are getting harder, they're by studying, and there's inflation in the ratings or deflation, or I don't know what it is. I can just say this, tournament chess, over the board chess is hard. It doesn't really matter what your online ratings are, as much as we like to, check out my Elite Chess rating, kind of a thing. These over the board, that's serious, real chess. And I'm hoping to get back into playing again. Actually, I registered for my next tournament. It should be in March. Going to be playing up in the Bay Area. So I'll talk more about that, I'm sure, and probably do some reviews on the games. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. It was one of those games that, yeah, it definitely got the heart rate going when I was playing this game. And it's the kind of game where you want to show, you just kind of want to show from like the point when you're like absolutely crushing your opponent. But like right here, like at this point right here, I'd like, oh yeah, check out this middle game technique as my opponent blunders from right here. Like I'll gladly show this to someone. But yeah, the beginning part of this was kind of embarrassing. So this kind of win where you win, but at the same time you've kind of lost a piece of your soul. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching Dad Life Chess. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all those things. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you as well have had a game where you're holding on for dear life and you were able to pull out a victory. Swindle the win. I feel like this was a swindle. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day.